welcome to Crafting with the Crafty Chick. We are doing a Father's Day project today. I wanted to make a Father's Day card, and one of my favorite masculine stamp sets in our annual catalog is the Sailing Home. This is a bundle and it comes with coordinating die. We're going to use this one on our project today, but this is called a side step card. Different technique. So there's a couple of different ways we can display this card. So it's going to be hard to show you on the camera, but we have this standing upright, and then there's also, we can have it standing this way as well. You can also take this part and have it standing up so that your card stands on its own that way as well. So these are really fun cards to make, and I'm going to show you how we make this. And I want to also mention that when we case a project from somebody, we want to give credit to who we cased it from. So we're casing this from Stampin with Florence, and you guys should go and check out her blog. She's got a lot of great card ideas on there. And it's okay to case, and casing stands for copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit. So we are going to do that. So I'm going to show you how we do that. I'm going to go ahead and set our materials off to the side. And so the card base is Sahara sand, and you're going to bring in your paper trimmer. You will need a paper trimmer to do this part of the process. So we want to have our base of 4 1/4 by 11, and because this is 8 1/2 by 11, so this is already 11 inches. And what we want to do is we want to line up. So you take your base and line it up at the 1 inch mark on your paper trimmer. And then along the paper trimmer we have these lines, these numbered lines here. And so make sure your paper is on the 1 inch. And so we're going to bring our cutting blade down to the 1 inch mark, and we're actually going to cut all the way down to 6 1/2. And so you want to follow your lines. So I'm going to cut from 1 inch all the way down to 6 1/2 inches. And so we just made our first cut. And then we want to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. So line up at the 1 inch mark and bring your cutting blade to the 1 inch and take it down to 6 1/2. Okay, and so now we have made our 2 cut. So now we're going to turn this sideways, and we're going to score from this end, score it at 1 1/2, so no cutting, so make sure your cutting blade is out of the way. So we're going to score at 1 inch. Okay, now I'm going to bring this way, and we're going to score at 2 inches, 5 1/2, and then again at 6 1/2. So you will need to extend your trimmer arm out to get the 6 1/2 measurement. And 6 1/2. Okay, and that is it for our scoring and cutting. I'm going to put the paper trimmer away. Okay, and then you'll need a bone folder so we can sharpen our score lines on the ones that we just made. So we're going to go ahead and do a second score line. You really want to get those creases really crisp. And then this one. Okay, now on the bottom one, this is a little bit trickier on the bottom because the way your card lays. let me see if I can turn it over. See, we have these two here, and these need to line up a certain way so that your cards stand up. And so what we need to do is bring this towards you and sharpen those crease lines. Make them nice and crisp. Okay? And then, so you have your, so this actually goes up. And then we want to bring this bottom score line and then turn it over and fold it away from you. Okay, so now all of our score lines are sharp. And so this piece is going to stand up just a little bit higher. And so your card there we go, we're getting it. Okay. And so that is how you do the side step card. And then the sides, I use Night of Navy, and you will need 2 pieces, 1 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my pieces in. Okay. And so that's these pieces here you will need for your sides. And you will be covering up this whole section here. And then you also need another piece, which is for the center of your card. And this piece here, the center piece, is 2 inches by 4 3/8. And then we have our stamped lighthouse from the Sailing Home stamp set. And this piece is 1 7/8 by 4 1/4. And that piece is going to go on here. And as you can see, there's our Night of Navy border all the way around. And then we have our 2 side pieces. And these are 3/4 inch by 4 1/4. And you need 2 of those. And those go on the side. And then I also use the sentiment from the Best Year stamp set, which is in our annual catalog also, and use the Happy Father's Day. And that is stamped on the stitched rectangles dies in Night of Navy. And then I also use for the inside sentiment, I don't know if I showed you guys that. It says, it's your time to be remembered, to feel appreciated, and to know you're celebrated. And that is from the Inspired Thoughts stamp set. So 3 different stamp sets, 2 of them primarily for the sentiment, and then the other one is our nautical theme. Okay. Also in that bundle, in the dies, there is this rope die, and then the bow line knot or whatever you call that is in there as well. Okay, so now ready to start just hearing our pieces together. It's always good to have cards in our stash. I know Father's Day is past for this year, but you guys can make this and have it in your stash for next year and be set. I love making cards up ahead of time and having them in my card box so that they're ready to go if I need one in a hurry. Okay. And it seems like I always have Christmas cards, lots and lots of Christmas cards, but I never have enough, like thank you card, birthday cards. And so my goal for this year is to make more of those to have in my box ready to go for giving away or for mailing. And so these side pieces, you want to go end to end, but then have your border on the sides of the Night of Navy. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece on to our centerpiece. So now this doesn't go across this top piece that we scored. We actually want to have it on this bottom part. There we go. And then if you look here, you have your piece that goes here, which I just remembered there's supposed to be a Night of Navy piece that goes across here as well. And I think I forgot to cut one out. Okay, I'll have to cut another Night of Navy piece here. So, but these pieces will go on the side here. And so you want to leave, so we have this piece here, which a Night of Navy piece goes here. And then we have our two squares. You want to leave these two squares covered up. So you actually want to cover these pieces up here. Okay, now secure the other one on the other side. Okay, I'm just double checking my notes here to see if I wrote down what measurement for Night of Navy on here. And I don't think I wrote that down. Okay, let me grab a piece of Night of Navy. And we'll just eyeball and measure. I don't remember what that measurement is, and I didn't write it down. Okay, we can measure this score line. So this is 1 inch. So we probably want to go, I wonder if we go 3/4 of an inch. So if we just take it 3/4 of an inch and then we have some of that gray popping through, that will work. And then this is 4 1/4, so we need to make this 4 1/4 in length. Okay. So now I'll go ahead and glue this piece on from end to end. And let that get adhered there. And then we have our rope pieces here. This one has a hole. I just need to poke that through. There we go. I think that's secure enough, so we're going to go ahead and glue our rope. I'm already getting on my fingers. That happens, so when we're dealing with glue. Ah! Sticky fingers. Okay. And then this is longer than our card, and so we will go ahead and trim that piece off. We'll go ahead and glue our knot, a rope knot, or I don't know what you want to call it. You do want to keep it on the within the inside of this fold, because when this gets folded up, you don't want your knot to be bent over at the top. And then take our sentiment and glue that one on. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the end of this rope. How fun! Okay, and so what I just did is I'm bringing where these score lines here. So we have these score lines and then these, and I'm folding at these score lines. So our card can either sit like this, or we can bring this up and have this help be like kind of an easel type, and have your card stand up that way too. Super fun. Okay, and then the inside, the sentiment from the, I think, Inspired Thought, and then the anchor from Sailing Home. We're going to stamp those inside really quick. Okay, grab Night of Navy ink pad. Okay, so Night of Navy ink pad, and we're going to stamp the sentiment first. Just right in the center. Making sure my stamp is not upside down. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to take our anchor stamp from Sailing Home. I always put the covers, the protective backings, back in the stamp set so that they don't get lost. I have learned in the past from having them on my desk that sometimes they get knocked over in the trash or mixed in with paper. Yeah, I've done that a lot. Okay, so we're going to take our anchor and stamp it in Night of Navy, but we're going to stamp off. And then come over here and stamp over our sentiment. And this will be a lighter Night of Navy, so it's not going to overpower our sentiment. And so now we have our anchor. And that is the Side Step card, cased by Stampin' with Florence. And now you have a Father's Day card to add to your stash for next year, or if you're doing a late gift this year, you can go ahead and send it to your dad or to anybody really. Your spouse, a friend, a neighbor, an uncle, a cousin, nephew, grandson. Very versatile. Now, I do want to mention, if you want to mail this in an envelope, the best thing to do is to tuck your bottom piece inside, and then this will fit into an envelope. Because we can't do it this way. It won't work that way. So you can just tuck this under or up and do that too. And that way this will fit in the envelope if you wanted to mail. Okay, well, very, very fun, and I hope you enjoyed this project, and thank you so much for crafting with me today. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.